Okay, this patient visited my clinic because she has right flank pain. So she visited other doctor's office, and the doctor said it might be the gallbladder problem. So she got some herb that benefit and ease the gallbladder. But she came to my clinic for a regular appointment, and I found she has several problem sites, as you see at the video. So I put dots that she had problem at, and I found with her brain database reading, and I put little dots. I found this patient has mostly of mold infection and fungus infection and yeast infection. And I found mostly everything has those yeast fungus infection. But several spots, it was not due to the mold or yeast or fungus. That spot is right here. So I put many dots and I put a dark marker. And right here, and right here, and right here, and right here. So those dots do not have the problem, or it is not the most important causative factor of the problem. And I found it is several cancer cells. So she had complaint about the pain at the right flank. I found this spot is ileocecal valve site. Ileocecal valve is the valve that is connecting the last part of small intestine ileum and the beginning part of large intestine cecum. That's why it is called as ileocecal valve. And I found she has 3 cancer cells at this spot. So the cancer cell now is at ileocecal valve and the cecum and the ascending colon. And the cancer cells, I will tell you the name later. And I tested her body even though she did not realize any symptom around these spots or area. The body brain said that she has some problem at the transverse colon of same cancer cell. And that is exact the spot. And her body also showed that she has the same cancer cells at the stomach. And that's why I put the dots here. And her body also showed that she has the same cancer cell at sigmoid colon. That's why I put dots here. And she has same cancer cells at the rectum. So even though she did not have any complaint about these areas yet, the same cancer cell was spread, or the cancer cells were spread to other body spots. So with the permission, I take the video recording, because I want to show you the energy circulation pattern by pendulum test. Usually pendulum moves along human's energy circulation, as like you don't see the wind at the lake surface on the water, but you may see the circles wave on top of the water surface whenever the wind is blowing on top of the surface. Such as wind or energy cannot be shown, and it is not visualized. But we can use some kind of object that the energy or wind blows them and moves them. That's why pendulum is very useful tool to see if the energy is blocked or open. So I'd like to do the pendulum test, especially the cancer sites. They are all mold, yeast, fungus. But I'm not going to show them because it takes too long time. But I'm gonna see those cancer sites of the pendulum test. Okay, her complaint is at this area, and that is ileocecal valve site. So let me test it. I'm gonna stay still and I'm gonna see the pendulum movement. It does not move. Let me see on the next non-dot area. You see, everybody sees the difference. If she does not have any problem that little site has good energy circulation at this pattern, with this pattern. So clockwise, this round pattern is very optimum. But this site, you can make it a little close, or you can turn back and forth. But this one does not move because she has some problem. I found she has 3 cancer cells here. First one is actually malignant carcinoma, and second one is Hodgkin's lymphoma, and third one is lymphoma. They're all different kinds, and they can be malignant, and later on it can be dangerous. So I'm gonna put Hodgkin's lymphoma test vial, and that is actually malignant carcinoma test vial. And this is lymphoma test vial. So test vials are little ampoules that contains the frequencies in the distilled water. So these each ampoules have their own pathogens frequency. So as soon as we put the ampoules on top of the chest or at thymus test point, the brain works as like antenna, and the brain catches their frequency, and immediately the blood energy starts circulating in optimum movement, because those little ampoules work as like key to open the blood flow. So I put those 3 cancer cells, and I'm going to see the pattern of the pendulum. It slowly starts moving. Good. My hand is very still, but her own energy starts circulating this way. That's why the little pendulum is moving along the energy circulation. So this spot has 3 cancer cells. And I found she also has cancer cell at the stomach. So I'm going to test. Pendulum never moves because of the cancer cell, the energy got blocked. And non-energy circulation makes the pendulum stuck that way. So she also has the same cancer cell. Let's see. As soon as I put three ampoules that has frequencies of the cancer cell, brain catches their frequency, and her body energy starts moving. That's why the pendulum is moving along that energy circulation. So these 2 spots do not have any other pathological factors. That's why the pendulum makes the clockwise beautiful circular mode. And I'm going to see her transverse column. It does not move because she also has cancer cells here, and energy is blocked at this moment. So I'm going to apply 3 ampoules or test vials on top of the chest. Now everybody sees the different pattern of the pendulum movement. Previous 2 points, we saw the clockwise beautiful circular mode, but at this transverse column, we see this only diagonal line-to-line movement. It means her energy is not open completely, and only energy is open this way, incompletely. And I found she has the radioactive components, heavy metal particles here. Because in 2011 July, the Los Alamos, the biggest laboratory of a nuclear laboratory, got the biggest fire in USA history. And they burned 20,000 of barrels of plutonium. And actually the plutonium particles and all other radioactive particles contaminate the whole USA. So whoever lives in USA, they got contaminated. That is one of the reasons of the radioactive components. The second reason, at seaweed, such as sushi seaweed, especially sushi seaweed in Korean language, kim, they usually are they got collected from the sea around Japan and Korea. And actually Japan and Korea, their sea got so contaminated from the tsunami because a lot of radioactive components are released and leaked into the seawater. And usually seaweed is not washed. As soon as whatever the collectors collect the seaweed, they don't wash it so thoroughly and they start making the seaweed. So whoever eats a lot of seaweed, they have a lot of accumulation of the radioactive components. And I found she has radioactive components here. So first one is the air breathing in USA. Second one is seaweed eating. Third one is milk drinkers. Because the radioactive components, especially strontium, that is the death ash, they usually tend to go to calcium tissue, and it is accumulated as bony or calcium tissue. And the milk has the most calcium, and milk has the most condensed form of strontium. So we should avoid seaweed and milk. But anyway, this patient has the radioactive components. So as you see, it did not make a circle movement. It only makes side to side incomplete pendulum movement. So I'm going to put the test ampoule of radioactive components. 한국말로 하면 방사능 물질. And let me see what's the result. As soon as I put the radioactive components or 방사능 물질, the brain catches the frequency of that little ampoule and it opens the blocked the energy. That's why the pendulum recovers the beautiful circular clockwise mode. Good. So you have 3 cancer cells and radioactive components here. Now I'm gonna take away the radioactive components and I'm going to see her sigmoid, S-shaped large intestine. So sigmoid also makes the line-to-line diagonal pattern of the pendulum movement. It means it has 3 cancer cells plus something else. So let me see if it is the same radioactive components. Yes, it is the same. So this patient has 3 cancer cells here, plus accumulations of the radioactive heavy metal or 방사능 물질. So it is beautiful. Good. Now I'm gonna take away the radioactive components test vial and I'm gonna test her rectum. 직장. A lot of people have rectum cancer or 직장암. And let's see. Yeah, only with cancer, 3 cancer cell ampules or test vials, the rectum recovers beautiful circular mode. It means the rectum area does not have anything else except those 3 cancers. So of course, I have to kill all those mold, fungus, yeast. That is very basic. But I have to kill all the malignant carcinoma from the whole site. And the second one is Hodgkin's lymphoma. And third one is lymphoma. And also, I have to eliminate and clear the radioactive components accumulation or 방사능 물질 오염. How can I do this? Okay, her brain already recognizes all those pathos. Then I have to program her brain by special sequence, especially using her cranial nerves and central nerve system and all those autonomic nervous system and spinal nerve roots in a special sequence. Then her body and her brain will use her own immune system and they start killing all of them. And usually brain is the only weapon that can kill all the cancers and program that she will expel those cancer cells in the future. And I will do that by biological computer technique, 인체 컴퓨터 진료법. And she may need to get support of anti-cancer nutrition such as curcumin and such as resveratrol. Then usually in several months, within 6 months, usually all the cancer cells can be destroyed by the brain with the help of the immune system. And I'll show you after all those treatment protocol. Thank you very much.